On this episode of Montsweag Garage, we're going to measure out the front and rear wheel wells so we can figure out exactly what kind of meats we can get to replace these pitiful things. Oh, hey, it started all by itself. I forgot if you hold your hand up, it starts. The newfangled technology is just amazing. As we get closer to getting this thing back on the road, we need to start looking at new wheels and tires. First step in that is to get the measurements around the wheel well. So the ideas that we have in here for what we want to put on there are going to fit. In order to do that, we're going to need a couple of tools. Starting off with our jack stands. Probably only going to use one because I'm only doing one wheel at a time. There's our floor jack. We also want to use a level. I'll get more into why I'm using a level later on in the video. There's our tire iron, our measuring tape, and our worksheet. I will make this worksheet available for download for anybody that wants to try this on their own. You can see why I want to get rid of these things. It's tiny. It's pitiful. It's like a grown-up wearing kid shoes. It just doesn't work. The wheels are the stock 13-inch steel wheels, and the tires are a set of trailer tires that we put on here just so we can move it around while we work on it. Now, it's time for something a little more permanent. What kind of wheels would you put on? Let us know down in the comments below. Let's go ahead and start working on getting this front driver's side wheel on. One thing you're going to need to do to help you do that effectively is when you place your jack stand, place it as far out on the lower control arm as you can. For me, it's going to be right here. If you move it further in on the control arm, your suspension won't compress all the way. Right there. Now we get this wheel the rest way off and get to our measurements. On these old Mopars, the studs on the driver's side are left-hand thread, so you will notice that I'm turning right and it's coming off. Don't mind that. So I've thrown on glasses because old and blind. The first measurement we're going to take here, from the face of our brake drum to the nearest obstacle behind it, which in this case is going to be our upper control arm. So the nice thing about the front brake drums is it turns, so I can use my level as a straight edge and measure to any point behind. In this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and measure the control arm, maybe, there we go. And I have 4 1/4 inches. The next nearest part that sticks out is going to be right back here, and that's our bump stop mount. We're going to go ahead and take that measurement as well, which is right about 9.5 inches. This measurement's important because it lets us know what back spacing we can have on our wheels, and also how wide our tires can be on the back side of this face. Next measurement we're going to take is from the face of the brake drum to the inside of the fender lip here, if my tape measure will cooperate. This measurement's important because it lets us know how wide a tire we can put on the front. We're looking at 5.5 inches. With that 5.5 inches, I can figure out I take it 1/2 inch away for clearance. Now I know if I double that, I can get a 10-inch tire up front. Seeing as how we're putting 205/70 R14s up front, and those are 8.1 inches, we got plenty of space. Up next, we're going to measure from the edge of the brake drum down to the center of the hub. In order to do that, this is where my level comes in, and this is why I'm using a level. I make sure that my bubble here is in the center, and make sure I'm getting an accurate measurement. My bubble centered tape measure on, I am at 5.5 inches. I double that. That gives me an 11-inch brake drum. I need to make sure that fits inside the wheels that I want to put on here. Since I'm looking at 14-inch wheels, they should fit just fine. Next measurement is going to be from the face to the end of the hub. Again, I'm using my level, making sure that it's plumb, and then measuring from the face out. And we have 2.5 inches. This is important so that the new caps with your new wheels will fit over top of the hub. Next measurement is going to be from the fender lip here down to the center of the hub. I'm going to do that by taking my level, placing it against the fender lip, and making sure my level is level, and then connecting and taking my measurement. And I am at 16.5 inches. Our last item up front is we're going to measure from the top of the brake drum to the lowest point up here in the wheel well. And for that, we've got about 13 inches. That's all the measurements for the front. So we're going to get the wheel on, get the front end back down, get the back end up in the air, and get that wheel off. Now we've got the front wheel on and the back wheel off. We're going to go ahead and start with our measurements. First measurement we're going to take here is from our drum face back to the leaf spring, which is the closest part of the frame. There we go. And back to leaf. And we are just under 5 3/4 inches. Second measurement we're going to take is from the drum face to the fender lip. Again, these measurements are going to let us know how big a tire we can fit back here. And we are at 5.5 inches. So, like with the front, we've got 5.5 inches. We want to leave a 1/2 inch for clearance. So that means we could conceivably get a 10-inch tire back here. Now, we're going with 265 60 R15s. Those are 9.3 inches wide, so we should have plenty of clearance to the fender lip. Next measurement we're going to take is the width of the hub. And that one's super simple. We are at 2 1/4 inches. That lets us know what the center bore of the wheel needs to be. Our planned wheels have a 3-inch center bore, so there'll be plenty of clearance around. Next up, we're going to measure. Next up, we're going to measure. Why can I not say measure? Next up, we're going to measure the width of the drum. We're going to do that the same way we did up front by using our level, making sure that our bubble is centered. Let's go from the top. There we go. And again, 5.5 inches, which means we have an 11-inch drum. That means I can use the same size rim on the back that I have on the front. If this drum was larger, then I would have to use a larger rim size on the back. I don't want to do that. I want them the same size. Next, we're going to measure from the bottom of the fender lip to the center of the wheel hub. Again, we're going to do this the same way we did up front by setting our level right here. And coming down to the middle. So we're about 8.5 inches. Since the tire that we want to use is 25.1 inches, that means we're going to have about 4 inches worth of tire tucked up into the wheel well. It'll be a nice look. Next measurement is going to be from the center of the hub to the lowest point of the wheel well up here. And we get about 20 inches. That means there's going to be plenty of clearance for our 25.1 inch tire. With these measurements in hand, you can figure out what wheels and tires you want on your ride. And for more on this beautiful dart, check out this playlist.